to My Cooking Nook. My name is Christine Deaton. This is our second live broadcast, and I'm so excited to be here. We have lots of things to do today, but everything is few ingredients and very quick, so let's get started, okay? The first thing I'm going to do is put all my stuff that I need in the oven so it gets cooking. So we're going to start with dessert, okay? So this is a very simple 3-ingredient dessert. I have cherry pie filling. Today I'm going to do 2 separate little cakes because one I'm going to give away. Okay, so, and my mom doesn't know that yet, but she's going to get one of these nice cherry chocolate cakes. So I'm going to put 1 can of, I have 2 little cake pans here, and I'm going to put one can of the cherry pie filling and fill the bottom of the cake pan, okay? I'm going to do the same thing in the other pie pan, okay? This is so delicious, and 3 ingredients, folks. I mean, seriously, let me tell you, this is exciting for me. You know, some of you already know that I have a disease called Meniere's disease, and this is how my cooking show came about. I've actually had My Cooking Nook on Facebook since 2012. But I joined the Facebook, the Meniere's disease community on Facebook probably maybe a couple of years ago. And I noticed that folks with this disease have a really hard time standing for long periods of time, and it's a balance disease. And so it's really hard for us to stand in one place and to stand for any length of time. I know for me it is. And I've had it for a very long time. So I had to come up with ideas in the kitchen that make me able to still cook for my family. And I want and need recipes that are quick and easy and delicious. So here's one of those right now. So a 3-ingredient dessert. So what I've done is I have a super moist chocolate cake mix, okay? And I am not preparing the cake mixes as you normally would. I am just putting the dry cake mix right on top of the cherries, okay? And there you go. That looks good. That looks good. And then what I will do is I'm going to pat it all down. Well, I can probably do this. There you go. That makes it kind of even on top. Okay. Pat these bigger pieces down. Okay. There you go. Looks good. And now I'm going to take butter. I take 2 sticks of butter. Sometimes you don't need 2 sticks, but we'll see how far we get with this since we have 2 cakes this time. And I'm actually just going to put the butter around the cakes, okay, just like this, just like this. Doesn't have to look pretty because it's all going to melt. It doesn't matter. Just put it around the cake, okay? I already have my oven preheating, 350, for the things that I am going to be putting in the oven, okay? And so that's, you know, everybody, especially when you're baking, you need to have your oven preheated. You do not want to put something in the oven in a not preheated oven. It cooks differently. It cooks wrong, actually. You have to have it at the right temperature to cook it at the right speed, okay? So right now I'm just going to finish up putting my butter. All right, this is easy, folks. Now with my disease, it's a balance disorder. It also, you know, you have the wonderful things like ringing in your ear, motion sickness, you know, lovely things like that. So you have to find ways, and I call it navigating through the disease. I've had it for such a long time that I really have learned what I need to do to make my life a little bit easier. And these recipes that I've come up with, as you can see, I finished the butter on the 1 cake, and I'm going to finish up this little stick of butter, and I have another one right here. And anyway, I've had to find ways, not only in the kitchen, but in life in general, where if I'm having a really bad day, I have to kind of navigate around the symptoms that I'm having. This is not an easy disease by any means, and it's so tough that honestly I call we actually, the people who have this disease, refer to each other as warriors, because this is not by any means for the faint of heart, okay? It is a very tough disease, but you know what? Sometimes life is tough. Now, when I talk about Meniere's disease, I'm not just solely saying that this is only for people who have that. These recipes are for anybody that have maybe some kind of limitation, some kind of disability or inability to be in the kitchen for a long time, whatever the thing is that you're dealing with. But then again, any of these recipes are great for the mom or the dad that has very little time. They've got to fix something, they've got to get it done. The kids have this thing to go to and that thing to go to, and you're busy and you're running, you've got meetings, whatever. These recipes can really satisfy just about anybody, okay? So, I'm almost done with the cake here. I've got a few more pats of butter that we're going to put on it.
So can I tell you, Elizabeth is online watching right now, and so is Yvette.
Hi, guys. Thanks for being with us today. Elizabeth is my daughter. How nice, honey, to have you here. Okay, so the cakes, I'm going to go ahead and put the cakes in the oven. Okay, again, preheated 350 degrees, and I want to get those cooking because those are going to take a little bit longer than the other things, okay? So we're going to get those going. All right. Now, the next thing is I'm going to put cornbread together. All right. So the cornbread could be as simple as 3 ingredients. I personally like to add a couple of things to cornbread, okay? The other thing that I'm going to be a stickler about in my kitchen is clean as you go. You know why? Because after you've done all the cooking, for myself, I feel a little worn out. So if I clean as I go, then I don't have to look at a gigantic mess that I created in the process of making these great meals. So do yourself a favor, honestly, clean as you go. Okay, we've got a greased pan, okay, just butter, all right? And in my bowl here, I'm gonna put 1 little box of cornbread, corn muffin mix, okay? And it goes for 1 egg, okay?
Terry Herget-Lindner is on with us,
Hello,
and so is Emily.
Hi, Emily. Emily's my daughter. Teresa and Yvette, you're so sweet. I'm so glad you guys are with me. Okay, the regular recipe is just 1 egg, 1/3 of a cup of milk, and the mix. But what do I like to do? I have some corn, a can of corn, that I have actually drained, okay? And I put 2 tablespoons-ish of whole corn in here. And then I'm also going to put about maybe a little more than a tablespoon of green chilies. Because I don't know about you, but I got to have green chilies in my cornbread.
Mary Heffington is with us.
Hi, Mary Heffington. How are you, dear? Alrighty, so here's my cornbread mixture, okay? And simple and easy, right, guys? Took me all of about 2 minutes to put the ingredients together. Mix it up and pour it in. There you go. Delicious. Okay, all right, here we go. Scrape it all out of there. You want every drop. Okay, just spread it out, spread it out. It looks thin, but it puffs up, okay? And you know what? You don't have to spend a lot of time or a lot of money on cornbread. They've got great mixes in the grocery store. And save yourself a lot of time and money and just buy one of those mixes. Very, very inexpensive. And again, you can customize it for your like. So mine has the green chili and the whole pieces of corn. And it's awesome. It's going in the oven right now. Okay, now the friend in the kitchen for you is a timer, because when you're having issues like today, I'm really off balance today. You will see me again leaning and probably swaying back and forth, but because I'm doing the other stuff, I'll be in the kitchen. But really, you need to have a timer so that you can maybe pop something in the oven and then go sit down a while. listen for your timer, okay? This is a friend in the kitchen. I also have other friends in the kitchen. My rice maker, okay? Easy. Okay, so I've already preheated the rice maker. Watch this. Ready? 2 cups of rice. 4 cups of water. Lid. Turn on. Rice is cooking. How was that? Okay. So now what have we done in 5, 6, 7 minutes? Let's see. Maybe 10 minutes. We've got cornbread in the oven. We've got the cakes in the oven, and we have the rice going. So now we're going to do the chili. Now, as most of you know, I have a lot of food allergies. A lot of people have food allergies. So this turkey chili can be easily made a beef chili, okay? So get a pound of ground turkey or ground beef, okay? And I'm going to preheat this for a second. Any of the recipes that I do, I'll always use ground turkey, but that doesn't mean you have to. Any of the recipes, you can very easily get a little chub of the ground beef, and it obviously works just as well. The only difference is that ground beef has its own fat, turkey doesn't. So I have to start my pan with some grease. You might use a tiny bit of oil just to start the beef, but then obviously you have enough. Sometimes the beef has so much fat that you have to drain before you complete your recipe. But for right now, I'm going to use probably around 2 tablespoons of oil, okay? I'm just going to eyeball this. 1, 2. That's about right. Okay. And I'm going to swirl it around. And the first thing I'm going to do are saute my vegetables because I need them to be a little softer. Now, I don't do beans in my chili, okay? I'm allergic to a lot of beans. I don't particularly care for beans anyway. So for those of you who like beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, navy beans, whatever you like, you can very easily add a can of beans into this recipe. This is kind of how I make it, how I like it, but this is kind of one of those recipes that you can do whatever you want. You can add or take out whatever you want, okay? So I've got my onions sauteing. The other thing that I will tell you about people with Meniere's disease is we can't, hey, there was a runaway onion. We can't have a lot of salt, okay? Salt retains water. Water creates more of an imbalance issue for us. So I don't add salt to my food generally. I do add, I'm going to put the bell peppers in too, guys. And I only have about 1/4 cup of bell peppers because my family's not huge on the bell pepper flavor. But you really do need that going through the chili. It adds this other layer of deliciousness. So I use garlic salt, okay? It's not as concentrated as your regular salt. And I also use the garlic salt California blend that's 25% low sodium. I try to keep the sodium content very, very, very low in all of my food. I put a sprinkle across, and that's literally the only salt that I'm going to use. Now, when we get this to the table, that doesn't mean that my family or whoever is eating this can't add some salt. You can add salt, you can't take it out. So,
but it's so delicious, you don't really need to.
It really is. There's enough flavors that are going to go in here that, you're right, it's such a good chili that you really don't need to add a whole lot. The smell, you can smell it. It's probably walking through the whole house right now. I also am not going to saute the vegetables to the point of, let's say, where they're completely transparent. I want a little bit of both, okay? And they're going to continue cooking as I simmer this in a few minutes. So they're getting a little bit translucent. That's exactly what I want, okay? I'm going to push this to the side. Okay. I have my little ground turkey chub, and I'm going to put it in there. Make sure I got it all out. Yes, I do. And I'm going to chop it up, and let it start to cook. also. It's an all-around great substitute for meat, okay, for regular beef, and I don't eat pork either. Yeah, you know, that's how life goes.
Stacy Doherty is with us.
Hey, Stacy, how are you, girl?
And Elizabeth says Nikki is watching too.
That's my grandson. Hi, Nick. How you doing, baby boy? I hope you're feeling better. Anyway, ground turkey is, it's low in fat, lower in fat than a lot of meats, okay? And it's pretty healthy. It's a pretty healthy meat. And I do everything that you guys would do with ground beef, I do with ground turkey. And I mean everything, meatloaf, meatballs, whatever you got, I make a ground turkey. And it works just fine. Like I said, the only thing that's different is that you have to add a little bit more oil to start with, because it has like virtually no fat. And so you need to have some kind of fat to start frying it or grilling it or whatever you're going to do with it in the first place. Okay?
Lisa Deal is with us.
Hey Lisa, how are you? From Nebraska. We got people from, let's see, New York online right now, Texas, Nebraska. Thank you guys. Last week I was so excited, guys. What we did was we did the live feed, and then later on Chris, my husband right here behind the camera, hi Chris.
Hello.
He put it on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel for this too. And I was so excited. We had almost 1,400 people watch my video. I was very, very excited. How did this come about? I want to explain that again. This is only our second broadcast. When I joined the Meniere's group, a lot of people who have this had questions about food. And because there are, not that there's a lot of diet restrictions, but the biggest thing really for this is that it's the sodium. And you really have to think about that. And you don't want to eat fatty foods. There's a lot of things that you can retain, and it makes you feel sicker, okay? So I did a culinary course at Jacques Pepin, the famous chef, world-renowned chef. I took his course, and I got my degree in that. And so my family's owned restaurants. We're all cooks. My sister's a chef, and we know food, okay? So I was talking to my husband one night, and I said, I'm starting to incorporate the vegetables with the meat, by the way. The meat's looking good. And I said to my husband, you know, maybe I can combine my disease, my cooking, the things that I know, and try a cooking show to try to help those who, you know, really do need to get in and out of the kitchen. I know for myself, there are days that I am a mess. I am sick. And you'll see, even cooking right now, folks, I don't know if you can see, but I'm leaning. And I have to lean because I feel like I'm going to fall. And that's one of the things with this disease. And so I thought, I bet you if I showed some of my recipes, how I do things and how quickly I do things, that might help folks out there. So that's where this whole idea came from. And so far, in the one show, people have really responded and responded well. We appreciate if you would go to, like us, either on Facebook, or if you want to watch this again, this episode or the last episode, and you want to see what's going on how we do it on YouTube, will you subscribe and like us, please? That would be great. We're trying to really get this out there. We ask that you share and tell people about my show. That would be so awesome, and we'd be very, very appreciative of it. And we really hope that this helps a lot of people to get in and out of the kitchen. And even for busy moms and dads, like I said, boom, chili, you're out, okay?
And for the YouTube channel, it is My Cooking Nook, all run together, no spaces,
right,
My
right.
Cooking Nook
Right.
on YouTube.
Yes. Okay, guys and girls, I have everything in the pot is looking great. I incorporated all my vegetables. The ground turkey is done.
Stacy says, with your disease, would it be okay to add green chilies to make it more southwestern? There you go, Stacy.
The answer to that, my dear, is yes. So, you know, for the last 40 years, we've lived in Arizona, 40-something years, and I love Southwestern cooking. I love Mexican food. That's probably my favorite ethnic food. So this is definitely a take on that. And I'm going to tell you a little trick about this, by the way. I thought about this when I was preparing, you know, figuring out what I was going to make today. I thought about this. I'm going to add some tomatoes and I'm going to add some water, a little bit of water in each can. But this would actually be a great burrito before you add the water, because it's going to be kind of thick. So if you had a burrito, a big giant tortilla, and put this in before you added it to make it more liquidy, this is an awesome versatile dish for that too. Okay, I am using, honestly, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm using the Hormel chili turkey, no beans, because I can't have beans, I don't like beans, and this is amazing chili. Chili with no beans for me is right up my alley, okay? And it's a great chili, okay?
So Teresa says she loves hearing your voice again. She loves your food, but she loves hearing your voice. She says
yes.
Your favorite's not Italian. Your mom taught her mom to make lasagna.
Teresa, I love Italian food, but honestly, after living in Arizona for over 40 years, Mexican food is my all-time favorite flavors. Italian's still up there, and my mom is 80 years old, and she still cooks amazing Italian food. We're going to feature her on one of our shows. The thing about Italian food, it's not so expedited. So, yeah, so anyway, okay, so I just added a whole can. I mean, this is what, a 4-ounce can? 4-ounce can of diced green chilies. So, Stacy, absolutely with the green chilies. I'm also going to add, before I add the water, I'm going to add, it's diced tomatoes and green chilies, okay? And the reason I do this is not because I need any more green chilies or any more tomatoes or anything. It's because chili should be chunky, okay? And so, because I don't have beans in it, I still like the chunkiness of a chili. And so, I don't know, can you guys see what this is looking like? I mean, come on. This is delicious, amazing food. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys can see. Can you see this? Let me know out there if you can actually see what this chili is looking like. Oh my gosh. It's so, so, so good. Okay, so this is the point that I'm telling you. If you want to make burritos, this is the texture. This is what you want right now, which that would sound really good right now too,
It does
right?
sound good. Teresa says, are the green chilies spicy? She can't do anything too spicy.
They are not. They are not. They add a nice, they just add another dimension to the chili, but they're not spicy hot. And if you look on green chili cans, they'll tell you mild, medium, or hot. The can usually tells you what you're getting. Okay. Personally, I don't like it so hot that I can't taste the rest of the food. I don't like it that spicy, but I do like a little zing in my food. Okay. So I like the medium green chilies, but you can definitely get the mild green chili. Hey, I got my oven going off here. I'm going to turn this down a minute and simmer it and see what we got going on here. Oh, I'm going to leave it a few more minutes. I'm going to do about 5 more minutes. My rice is cooking. I can hear it bubbling, doing great. The thing about the rice cooker, guys, is that you don't have to do anything. You put it in, you turn it on, and it knows when it's done. The light will change. Okay. I don't know who invented this stuff, but thank you, because it's great in the kitchen. And for us, man, it helps so much. Okay, so take a nice close shot of this, Chris.
You got it. They're seeing it. They're saying it looks delicious. Stacy's drooling.
It's amazing. And then, you know, the more you let it simmer, so I'm going to let it simmer as I'm talking to you guys, because the more it simmers and those flavors infuse, oh my gosh. Then you put it on what I like to do is, you know, put the rice in the bottom of the bowl and make like a little divot. When you have your ladle, you know, you push down on the rice so that there's like a little divot in there. Is that a good word?
Yeah, it's a good
Is that
word.
a good word?
It's a perfect word.
Okay, and then you fill the middle, and then it kind of goes over the rice, and then you put some shredded cheese. You can put guacamole. I'm not a guacamole fan, but there are people that love that. Great. You can add that. You can add sour cream. You can add salsa. You can add anything. Okay, at this point, everything's kind of fused, okay? And I'm going to add a couple more things. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to add to this, which actually you could eat it right now and it would be delicious, but I'm going to add some taco seasoning. Now, my favorite seasonings, honestly, are the McCormick seasonings. They're great. This is low sodium taco seasoning, okay? And I do the whole packet. Whole packet. You'll need it. This is now smell that. Holy cow. You can smell the cumin and the chili and all that stuff. It darkens your chili a little bit. So, you can do burritos without that seasoning. You can do it with the seasoning. I get the nice big tortillas. I don't like little baby burritos. That could get kind of messy. So we get the big giant burritos, and then I add tons and tons of cheese. And sometimes I deep fry the burritos, which are, to me, even better because I like the crispy stuff on it, you know. Okay, so now, there's that, okay. That's looking amazing. Let me throw this away.
That smells good.
Doesn't that smell amazing? Okay, and again, clean as you go, because you don't want to have to worry about that at the end of cooking, okay. Now I'm going to add my water, because now I want chili. Now I want the texture where I can actually kind of pour it over the rice, okay? Don't add tons of water. This is only about a half a can, okay? But it makes it looser, okay? Look at that, guys. And how quick to add. You could add your beans, like I said, a can of beans, but what I would do with the beans is I would drain them, okay? Let the liquid that you've got in here just do its job, you know? I think if you put, like, if you got pinto beans or kidney beans, if you didn't drain them, it would really change the taste of the chili, and that's not something that sounds good to me. I don't know about anybody else. I want this to be what I taste and the flavors that I put in. So drain your beans before you put them in. You can put, I don't even know, whatever you guys like in chili, add it. This is kind of one of those things where it's like a potpourri. You just can pile things on, okay? All right, so I'm going to let this simmer for just a few minutes, okay? I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to clean this stuff up. And we're going to check the cornbread.
Now, Stacy had mentioned before when you talked about the rice and the divot in the rice, she said, oh, a chili bowl it sounds amazing. She's always done it with cornbread, which you're making also.
Yes.
But she said she can't wait to try it with the rice.
Yes, try it. Chili to me, you gotta have rice. I don't know that combination is like so delicious. I even put this stuff on pasta, but rice and chili, that's the combination that I love best. And then you take the cornbread, okay, have a nice big piece of it on the side, but crinkle it up on top.
Good stuff.
Wait till you taste that. Now, what I do for toppings, though, I will tell you, is on the top of this, I either put, there's my ding-a-ling-ding-ding-ding. I put like Doritos, chopped Doritos, some kind of like tortilla chips, just for a little bit of crunch, if you like crunch. You don't have to do any of that. This is one of those meals where, like, you can do whatever you want. Okay, cornbread.
There's that cornbread, Stacy.
Cornbread is done. Done, man. It is done. I'm going to leave these right here.
And it has some of the green chili in it as well.
Yeah, it does have the green chili in it. Okay. And the cake is about 5 minutes from being done also. All right, so let's see. Wow.
That looks great.
I mean, this is 30 minutes, guys. Literally, this chili could be served right now. When this little green light comes on, rice is ready. We'll cut up some cornbread. I've got some cheese out there. And I've also got the cake. It's like just about done. So in about 30 minutes, you have a whole meal. There, it's so quick and easy. The only thing is sometimes, you know, you have to do the prep before, which is okay. I mean, most cooking you do have to do some kind of prep. And I did. I cut up the vegetables and I put up, you know, took out my eggs and those kinds of things. But I can do that. I don't have to be in a hurry doing that. I can just set stuff up and be ready to go. Grease the pans, that kind of stuff can all be done prior to cooking. And as you go along, seriously, look at my counters. There's not going to be hardly anything to clean up when I'm done, which is a lifesaver at the end of this when you're tired, okay? If you guys have questions out there, now's the time while we're waiting for everything else to finish.
Elizabeth did share a story saying that you talked about the McCormick spices that you like.
Yes.
And she was saying that the McCormick plant is in Hunt Valley, Cockeysville, Maryland, where they lived. And she said the air smells amazing when they're doing their spice preparation stuff. She said it just smells wonderful.
I'll bet. That's cool. Oh my gosh. I would be getting all my spices right from the factory. I can't get any fresher than that. Okay, Chris, come and check this out. Look at that.
Yvette says, looks great. She's done a similar chili with those ingredients as well as, and it turned out as well. Hubby can't eat beans anymore, right. So they're
there you go.
They're doing that. And she said, can you imagine a Puerto Rican that can't eat beans?
Well, you know what? We're gonna make chili that he can eat. Now, you said something, Yvette, last time that you can't have tomatoes. So you could probably leave the little can of tomatoes out of this. Everything, there's no other tomatoes in this. So if you just did the vegetables, you know, I was even thinking of adding carrots and stuff. You could kind of, oh, my rice is ready, guys. Look at the green light is on. Anyway, except for the little bit of tomatoes that I put in here just for a little chunkiness, you could leave those out and have chili that both you and hubby can eat. How about that? I'm excited. All right, so I am going to scoop up, because if you can believe this, we're almost done. I mean, it's been 30 minutes, and we are almost completely done. And the chili's done. It's absolutely done. Quick, easy, okay? And rice is done. Look at that. I mean, why don't you go over there, Chris, and just...
All right, let's take a look at that steaming hot rice. Woohoo!
My daughter Emily's here. How does it smell, Em?
Very good.
All righty. So, I'm going to scoop some rice. Stacy, watch what I do here, girl. Just scoop the rice, okay, in the bottom of the bowl. Okay? And then, because I'm going to be using what the heck? Why can't I think of this?
Ladle.
A ladle. Wow. You know, one of these things. A soupy scoopy thing. A ladle. So, push it down in the middle. Okay? And it creates that little hole. Hi, Ash. Fill that middle. Okay.
Say, hit that with some more chili.
Yeah, oh heck yeah. Okay. Look at that, guys and girls. Look at that. Okay, so come on over here. I'm going to reach behind you, Chris. And, oh, actually I don't need to. I can just do this. Okay. And I'm going to put a lot of cheese, because cheese and I are friends. We love cheese. Look at that. Okay? Good stuff? Yeah.
Looks great.
Looks great.
Elizabeth said, too bad she already ate, or she'd be over here to eat it.
Well, there's plenty, dear. Okay, so I'm going to cut, this is what I'm going to do first, okay? I'm going to cut a little tiny piece and crumble it on the top. Okay? And then I'm going to cut a couple little pieces for the side. I think my cake is done. Ooh, I can't wait. Emily, that cake today is chocolate cherry.
I saw that. I'm excited.
Okay?
Yvette says in Texas they add Fritos to the top,
Fritos would be great.
so especially if you can't have the
Ooh,
rice,
yeah.
and we've done that too.
Okay, guys, I just want, I'm saying, come on now, look at this. Can
That
everybody
looks
see that?
wonderful.
Can everybody see it? Okay. So I'm going to put this over here, right there. But we got to go get the cake out of the oven. Come on over here. Okay. So. Oh, yeah. Oh, they look amazing. You know what I'm going to do, though? I am going to leave those a few minutes because I want the cake a little more bubbly. So I'm going to taste the chili. Ashley, would you like to taste the chili?
Chili. Don't show me. I'll just
Hi.
watch me take it.
These are this is my daughter Ashley.
Woo.
All right, Ash, come on
Okay.
now. And it's very hot. So be
All
careful.
right. It's a nice big bite.
Woo! That's hot. It's a hot bite. See, the thing is that Ashley does not care for chili. Hot.
Ooh,
It's
oh.
hot. What do you think? It's very hot.
Oh, you see the steam?
Emily, come taste the chili. I'll let the girls taste
Look,
it.
I'm going back for a second.
Man, she's
Hey, there you go.
Woo!
Stacy says her husband would love this.
Come here.
Ashley's dancing. And Yvette says, looks amazing.
My girls are going to share the spoons.
It's a family thing.
Delicious.
Very hot.
Very hot. No, it's hot, but I want everybody to taste this because especially Ashley, because she's not a chili fan. But this stuff is delicious.
Yeah, it is delicious.
Hot.
Very good.
Hot. Thank you.
Very good.
All right. So there's my chili. Okay.
You got the Deaton girls' seal of approval.
I'm going to taste it.
All right.
You can have it.
I will
Okay.
take you up on that.
And I want both the rice. I love the rice, okay? I love the rice. And so I want a big hunk of the rice and then the chili. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. Holy cow. No, that's really great. You are gonna love this.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Okay, so I'm gonna get the desserts out of the oven. Now, here's the thing. That is so good, and you know what? Just like with Italian food, like Teresa talked about, chili the second day, even better. It really is. It kind of just coagulates, whatever you want to call it, and it's delicious. But that is an amazing bowl of chili. So simple. Oh my gosh, so simple, you guys. And I have a ton of it. And I told people last week, get yourself an electric skillet. Especially, you know, summertime and everything when you're cooking and it's hot. These little doohickeys right here are, everybody should have one of these. I do everything from chili to baked ziti. I do everything in my electric fryer. Chris bought me this one for Christmas, and it's my favorite one. And I do everything in here. It's just, it makes it so easy in one stop cooking right there. One pot cooking. Okay. Here is, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is chocolate cherry cake. They look amazing. Look amazing. It kind of looks like a brownie on top, doesn't it?
It does
Big old
have that
brownie.
appearance.
Woohoo. Wow, shut my oven off. I'm going to get a little serving bowl. I told everybody last week my little Corning dishes are worth, supposedly they're worth money now. So hang on to your Corningware. Normally, you would let this sit just a couple minutes just to kind of firm up, but I want you to see what it looks like, okay? Scoop that, oh my gosh, look at that. It looks like a brownie.
Like a
cherry
molten
spread.
cake.
Yeah. Wow, that looks amazing. That looks amazing. Can you see that? All right.
Can.
You want to taste this?
I will,
Yeah.
trust me.
All right, so let me taste. Oh, wow. Mmm. It does taste like a brownie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Stacy asked if the recipe for the cake was earlier in the show. Is it one of the dump cake type
It's a dump-
recipes?
Yes, it is a dump cake recipe. And Stacy, it's just a, in this size cake pan, it's 1 can of cherry pie filling. Just dump it in there. We greased the pans, okay? 1 can of cherry pie filling, about a half a bag of moist chocolate cake, any kind of chocolate cake, and then pats of butter on top and bacon, and that's it. And so, let's go over here.
Teresa says this chocoholic approves, and Elizabeth says she's on her way.
Well, there's plenty of food here, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Remember that if you want to see the show again, it'll be on Facebook, and it will be on our YouTube station, My Cooking Nook. All the words are together, and you can look up last week's recipe and this week's recipe. And I'm so glad you guys joined us. Thank you all for joining us. As I'm going to sit and eat my chili and my dessert. And I really want to tell everybody this is fun for me, and it's something that I can do. And I want to invite you every week on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Central Time. Join me in my home in Branson, Missouri. And I love seeing you guys. To my friends that are out there who joined, and my daughters, thank you so much for being here. Thank Chris for doing all my tech work and stuff like that. And join us next week with another great, quick, easy recipe. Bye-bye, everybody.